Ruben Baisley. It's your time to shine. Ruben says, hey, I'm 15. I have the TBS Tango 2 controller. Would you recommend to get goggles next? Wait and see what DJI releases. Otherwise, I might get Avatar Dominator HD. Expensive, though. It's the worst time to buy... Actually, the worst time to buy goggles was while we were waiting for the Walk Snail to come out. Now that the Walk Snail has come out, one piece of uncertainty has been removed. We still don't know if the HD0 goggles are going to be the best goggles anyone has ever seen. The HD0 goggles are months away. Carl has said by the end of the year. Prototypes sooner by the end of the year, but HD0 goggles are months away before you can buy them. So if you don't have goggles today, then probably you shouldn't wait for the HD0 goggles. DJI V2 is a pretty solid choice. You know what you're getting with the DJI FPV V2. You don't know what the future will hold for it because DJI is probably going to stop making it once the V3 comes out, right? Well, I mean, isn't that what we would assume? Isn't that how it usually works? Caddx swears they're going to keep making the Air Unit and the Vista. And so if we take Caddx at their word, if you buy the DJI V2 goggles today, there will be a supply of Air Unit and Vista for the foreseeable future. But it's always risky to buy into a system that might be going away, especially because if you buy the DJI V2 today and then the V3 comes out, the price will drop on the V2 and you'll have wished you'd waited. The other problem would be that the V3, and I hear from people who tell me things that the V3 is a couple months away, that the V3 is not imminent. I don't know if that's true. If it drops tomorrow, so be it. But the V3 is supposed to be pretty interesting. And so I couldn't, it's really tough to give you any advice. It's really tough to give you any advice. The Walk Snail system is brand new, still not 100% feature complete, and still has notable performance issues. It still has more stuttering than I would be happy with if I had paid $600 for it. I just said that, and it's buried in a live stream, and no one will see it except the 400 people who are watching this live stream. And then people will go on the internet and say, nobody's telling the truth about these goggles. Everyone's shilling. And then I'll just tear my remaining hair out because it annoys me so much that the Walk Snail system has performance issues that in the same way that HD0's performance leaves something to be desired, but people still love it because of what it is. And they're like, it's good, it's good, it's okay, it's going to get better, it's good enough, and I'm really happy that I'm in the HD0 camp. There are people who are buying the Walk Snail system, the Fat Shark system, and they're like, I'm happy to be here, I like what it is, it's going to improve, and I want to be there with it. But right now, the performance with the jitters and dropped frames and the range, it's not there yet. I wouldn't be happy with it. If it was my only FPV system, it would annoy me a lot. I would be working around those limitations. Like Sean says, oh, you got to put high gain antennas on it, then it's good. It's like, well, why do I have to do that? So, Quad Doc, yes, 100%. The Avatar goggles and the Fat Sharks are cross-compatible. What's wrong with the range on the Walk Snail system? Wesley Vardy asks. In my opinion, it gets stuttery at ranges, even though the bit rate is like seems to be fine. The latency jumps all over the place at a range where with DJI or analog or maybe even HD0, you wouldn't be seeing those problems. So I think if you buy Walk Snail / Fat Shark today, you're betting that it's going to be better in the future. The great thing about that system is the goggles are very nice, and and it has a future. It has a future. You assume that since it released now, they will keep supporting it for a few years. So, what am I flying in Portland? What do you think I'm flying? Okay, so it's a Rotor Riot shoot, so maybe we'll do some Walk Snail episodes, but I only have one quad with the Walk Snail VTX in it, and it's a 3-inch Cinelite from Rotor Riot, so that's not what I'm going to be flying. Clearly. I'll be flying DJI, mostly. Yeah. So... we shall see. We shall see. Today, it's so tough. It's so tough. If DJI V3 comes out, then it will be easier to make a decision. But as long as DJI V3 is on the horizon, it's hard to know whether DJI V2 is the one to get today. With HD0 and Fat Shark Walk Snail, you are betting on the future of the system. HD0 is closer, I think, to a fully finished system. Especially because HD0 has tiny whoop video transmitters, lightweight video transmitters. They have a more full-fledged ecosystem. So with HD0, I think you kind of know what you're getting. And what you're getting is unique enough that it can deliver something that nobody else can deliver. Even though in other ways, like pure range and penetration and resolution, HD0 doesn't do as well as DJI. In other ways, it does things DJI can't do. And in that respect, they have accomplished something unique. GMI Visuals wants to know, was partnering with Walk Snail instead of HD0 a good move for Fat Shark or not? Yeah, so my read on that is that there were personal conflicts between the way that Carl wanted to run his business and the way that Fat Shark wanted to run the business. And as a result of that, they fell apart. When you have a situation where it's easy to forget that all business comes down to individual people and personalities, especially with small companies like HD0, where Carl is more or less is the company. It's not like there's a board of directors at HD0 who make decisions. And with Fat Shark, Greg, in a lot of ways, is the company. Although I think Fat Shark has a little bit more, more distributed, sort of at the helm. Alan Evans, the vice president, or whatever his title is. So when you have a situation where the two people who run the companies don't see eye to eye, it doesn't matter whether it would have been a good business decision for the companies to stay working together. If the two people who run the companies don't see eye to eye, they cannot work together and they have to go their separate ways. It's all hypothetical. So was it a good business decision for Fat Shark to leave HD0? I think it was. I think that Fat Shark is going to do better in the long run with this Walk Snail system than they would have with HD0. Because I think in the long run, I think that most people are going to prefer the DJI style link. Most people care more about resolution and than they do about latency. And HD0 delivers better latency and smoother, but less range and less resolution. And so I think that Fat Shark will sell more goggles with the Walk Snail system in it than they would have if they sell the HD0 system. That's my opinion. Wesley Vardy says, yeah, until you consider the entire racing community. I I am curious to see how many racers are actually switching to HD0. I know that Evan Turner raced on HD0, said he was switching. I'm pretty sure he's back to analog. I won't try to speak for him as to why. I know some racers who switched to HD0 and then blew up their VTXs too often and were like, sorry, this doesn't work for me. I'm not saying, I don't want to overgeneralize that. The idea that, like, how was IO this year? How many people were racing HD0 at IO this year versus last year? Anybody know? I mean, I think last year we speculated that like 50% of the top 16 would be running HD0, that is going to take over. I'm not sure it actually panned out that way. So, Wesley Vardy, valid. The timing and interference is no good with the DJI style systems. So that's valid. Is the DJI V3 going to be usable with current hardware? I think not. I would guess no. I mean, I can't say, I don't know for sure. I don't know really. I don't know anything about the V3, but I'd be surprised if it was backwards compatible. What's the best FPV system? Asks Launch FPV. I mean, we've kind of been talking about that for the last 15 minutes, and I haven't given a straight answer. I don't think there's a single best answer. It's DJI V2. There you go. That's the answer. Done. Bye-bye, everybody. Here's the thing about DJI V2. Here's what I'll say. I can't think of an air unit or a Vista that I've killed. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I've killed antennas. I am pretty confident that I haven't killed a single VTX from DJI. And I'm not saying you can't do it. But I'm saying, like, look. Let's say you're worried that the DJI V2 is going to stop existing. If you buy the goggles today and you buy 10 Vistas, like assume you just have a bunch of money to blow, that could just be all you need for the next 2 or 3 years. And you know what you're getting. And what you're getting is pretty gosh darn solid. No, not even the one that I let the fire out of with the metal tweezers. It was fine. They're so durable. Yeah. And the Vista, it's just a really solid system. So if you like forced me right now to say, stop dithering, just pick one, I'd pick DJI V2. I'd just say, okay, go buy it. I'm not saying no one has ever killed them. I'm just saying they're really durable. They're really durable. I did have to send my goggles back for repair. At one point, the power board in the goggles died. That's the other thing. DJI will repair your freaking goggles. It was like 3 days total. I mailed it to them. Maybe it was 5 days. I mailed it to them. They fixed it. They mailed it back. They charged me $70. It was seamless. People have knocked the bind button off the Vista. You guys need to be gentle with your bind buttons. You guys are being too rough with your bind buttons.